What's up, guys? Brian Ellwood. Welcome back to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast. Hope you guys are doing awesome today. It's been pretty hot out here in Denver lately, and we have been planning our wedding. We're getting married September 1st in Telluride, Colorado. My girlfriend and I of almost 10 years, and so we're really excited about that and just kind of planning for it all. It's going to be a pretty small wedding, only like 40 people or so. And the venue is pretty cool. It's we're renting a cabin for 4 nights and doing the wedding right next to the cabin. It's on a lake up in the mountains of Telluride, Colorado. Definitely look up Telluride on Google Images if you have a second. It is the most beautiful place we have discovered since we've lived out here. And so we really wanted to get married out there, and real excited about that. But man, it's a lot of work. I tell you what, just meeting with the DJ and photographer and getting the food lined up. Luckily, my girl has done 90% of that. Really grateful for her, but we've been busy doing that lately. So guys, what I want to talk about today is something that I feel gets overlooked in the industry. And that's just the idea of like making your passive income actually passive, okay? Because I know a lot of guys that have lots of rental properties, okay? And if you ask them if they had passive income, they would definitely say yes. They'd be like, oh, hell yeah, I got $90,000 every year coming in, or 150, you know, and they would definitely say that they had passive income because they have rental properties. But having rental properties does not equal having passive income, okay? That's what I want you guys to understand. There is a way that you can set up your rental portfolio where it's very active income and it's very involved, and it requires a whole lot of your time, to be honest. And so I want to talk today about like what it looks like when someone's doing it wrong, and then what it looks like when someone's doing it right, okay? So let's start out with what would it look like when someone's doing it wrong? Well, it's pretty easy to find an example of someone doing it wrong. All we've got to do is look at how I personally used to run the whole ship. So first of all, I would be out hustling, looking for deals all the time, hitting people up, analyzing all their deals, making offers. When the offer got accepted, I would be running over to the house myself, checking it out, calling contractors and inspectors, scheduling them over there, meeting them there, calling them to go over their estimates and their inspection reports. I would be calling lenders myself and getting them all the documents needed to start the loan. Then I'd be emailing with the title company, getting set up to close. And then once the property was purchased, I'd get documents to our accountant and our bookkeeper, and then I'd go over there and manage the rehab, manage the contractors myself, literally over there multiple times a week. And then that was always a nightmare, and tons of crap and detail went into that. Then once it was purchased and renovated, I would either very stupidly try to manage the property myself, which did not go well, or I would, once I got a little wiser, I would find property managers. But even that was a process of interviewing a bunch of different property managers and finding what I liked. That I had to do that when I started to invest in a new part of town where I didn't currently have a manager. And then, getting all the details to them, all the leases and keys and deposits, and signing the paperwork, getting them set up for auto pay with me. And then, communicating with them about every little thing that was going on all the time. I was also the keeper of all the documents for the business, like the LLC or the operating agreement, the HUDs, the insurance binders, that, what else would there be? I checked the mail, I paid the bills, I kept up with the monthly statements from the property manager. I was basically the core of the business. So you think about all that stuff, right, that goes on we're just talking about buying one house, that's basically a part-time job at a minimum, right? That's a bunch of stuff. I didn't even mention like going and attending the closings and signing. So that's like half your day is shot when you had to do that. Or if once I moved to Denver, I would still sometimes make the mistake of like agreeing to do it. And they would email me a big PDF and I'd print out like 37 pages, go up to a notary, get them to notarize the whole thing, and then have the documents overnighted through FedEx or something. And that was like a few hours out of my day to buy another house. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, well, you bought a house, so it's worth a bunch of your time. But really, it isn't. If your goal is to have a lifestyle of freedom where money's coming in and hitting your mailbox and you're out having fun and enjoying your life, then doing all that stuff that I just went over will kill that for you. It won't allow it to happen for you. I know guys who have 100+ rentals and they literally are still managing them themselves. I have no idea why they would want to do that. They think it's worth it to save 10%, and maybe they do it better than a property manager could, or so they think. And so they make other money because they do a better job. But like, honestly, guys, it's a job that you're signing up for and it's taking away from your freedom. Okay. So just know that you can do this wrong. So what's the right way to do it? Okay. Well, the right way to do it, the way that I finally have it set up after so many years of trial and error, would look something more like this. Okay. A office manager from your company hits up your wholesaler list. Send me all your deals. They look at all the deals. They test them against the criteria that you've given them. If the deal fits the criteria that they've been given, then it will come to me. All right. And I will look at it and do kind of a potential analysis and come up with an offer, and I'll shoot a text or an email to that wholesaler with the offer. Okay. Then if the offer gets accepted, I will instruct my project manager to begin the due diligence process. Then I don't do anything until we have a contractor's estimate and an inspection report in hand. So they schedule those people, meet them over there, get the reports back. The office manager pays for the inspection and they get the stuff back. Then I'll have another meeting with the project manager to see if we should buy the thing or not, based upon the expert opinions of the contractor and the inspector, which I lean upon heavily doing this virtually and not knowing a ton about houses myself, to be honest. Okay. So once we have done that, I will trigger my office manager to reach out to the lender and begin the process of getting a loan to purchase the house. So my office manager will submit all the paperwork and be the point man in terms of, all the correspondence and all those emails that go into getting a loan done. And then also the point man with the title company scheduling the closing and all that. I'll also have my office manager get insurance on the property, which is something I forgot to mention in the part 1, doing it wrong. And then when it's time to buy the house, the office manager will actually physically drive to the closing and attend it and sign for me using a limited power of attorney document that that I have to sign, but that's it. And then, so all that's been done and I've barely done anything, right? I've looked at the deal initially, and then I've made the final purchasing decision after we had the estimate and inspection. So now we've bought the house with me only doing that much. Now the project manager and I might have a brief meeting to just discuss, all right, time to start the project. What's the deadline? What's the final budget going to be? And then that person can get bonused, depending on whether or not they hit the deadline and they stay within the budget. And then I'll have that project manager take regular pictures and videos and shoot them to me once a week or so, and we'll get on the phone once a week just to do a quick update on how things are going. I don't get super involved or micromanage that process unless there's a problem or I feel like things are going to go over budget or over deadline. Otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, just give me an update, and everything looks cool. We can just hop off the phone. Okay. So that just requires like one call a week from me for 30 minutes. Then we've got the property rehabbed. It's ready to be rented. The project manager just hands the property back off to the office manager, who reaches out to the property manager and gets everything set up for it to be rented, signs the paperwork, the agreement with the property manager, gets set up for the auto pay and all that. If you're in a scenario where you need a new property manager, I let the office manager find that person themselves rather than me do it, because they're going to be the ones that have to deal with them. So it's better to let them find them. And so then the property manager gets it rented out and begins to, send statements and all that each month as the rent comes in and as repairs happen, and all those go directly to the office manager, who is the direct contact with the property manager, not me. And the office manager also keeps all those statements filed, make sure that the closing documents that happened at the title company get to the accountant, and make sure all that stuff happens, and has access to the bank account when bills come in and need to be paid and everything. So I can now grow my portfolio while only doing the most high level decisions, like the initial decision to make an offer and then the final purchasing decision. And other than that, it's just like me kind of hitting a button, green lighting other parts of the process. Okay, go get the loan. Okay, let's buy this. Okay, start the rehab. And that's really it, guys. And so it's truly 95% passive, and I just get statements that come in each month. Of course, some of the money gets eaten up by paying for like an admin assistant. But really, that's $12 an hour, and you can get that kind of stuff done for like 5 hours a week. So it's only $60 a week or $240 a month to avoid all that stuff. Well worth it, guys. So that's the difference between a truly passive rental portfolio and one that people think is passive, but it's actually another job that they have for themselves that they often don't want to let go of because of some kind of personality trait that causes them to just cling to everything. So hope that helps, guys. And if you want to learn more about how to get your first 12 rental properties, register for our weekly web class. I give a lot of value on that class, and I also talk about the course that I've created, which includes group coaching, where you get access to me to ask questions regularly as much as you want. And you can go there at virtualinvestingclass.com. Register for our web class, virtualinvestingclass.com. See you guys there. Peace.